Welcome back to Chicago Sports Update here on IAP Podcast. This is Matt.
And this is Brandon.
And yes, I'm finally not hacking, coughing, or anything like that. So that's nice to kind of be over some of those allergies that have been plaguing me here in Western Chicago. Anyway, the Blackhawks they didn't stop. They started winning, and that was it. They decided, okay, we're done. We're done playing. This is it.
Well,
And they put an end to the Blues, as one person said. The Blackhawks gave St. Louis the Blues. Ah, ha 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 ha. So I, it seemed like it was just written that way because of everything that St. Louis was seemingly destined to be.
yeah, well, it's so weird. Uh, like a lot of hockey people try to say before the series that momentum meant something in the NHL, and then with the Blues, like who hadn't won a game in like 3 weeks and all this, and they come out and beat the Hawks 2 games in a row. And then you're like, okay, so yeah, there goes your momentum. The Blues have all the momentum now.
Yeah.
And the Hawks never lost again. But the Hawks had like really bad periods. Even the game
Oh
six clincher, period two for the Hawks was awful. And
yeah.
yet Crawford kept them in the game. It was still tied after two. It was still 1-1. And then the barrage of Blackhawk goals in the third period was probably the most fun Hawks hockey all year. I know a lot of people said it was actually the best they've played. I mean, I don't know if that's the case or if it was just the most fun to watch because it seems like it was just goal after goal. You could see the Blues kind of give up after the third one, and it was just, I mean, it was kind of just like celebration for half the period.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. When I got down when the Bulls, or excuse me, the Blues ended up
Yee.
tying it up. Yeah, we'll talk about them in a minute. But when the Blues tied it up, and I'm like, oh gosh, it's gonna be one of these again, where it's just gonna be. I thought it was just gonna be this slugfest, goal, emotional slugfest. I guess is the best way to put it. But get up a goal, get tied, go up a goal, get tied. Something like that. But after I'd been thinking the entire series, I'm like, I really just want the Blackhawks to just turn it on, to just smoke these guys, because every chance that they had been getting on the power play, I was nervous, and I was just
And there
waiting
was a
for
lot
that
of
other shoe to drop. Yeah, I really was, and Marcus Kruger, thank you for giving them every opportunity to go on the power play. But I was just waiting for that shoe to drop or that switch to get flicked, and they turn on and they don't look back, or they just all of a sudden just go off on Crawford. Wasn't the case, and the Blackhawks did what they had done previously in the regular season. They're like, you know what? We're just going to outshoot you, and we're going to score. And that's all that happened. They just put the puck on net, and good things happen. It's not that hard. We've talked about it before when they were down before, when they were having a lull period where they were passing too much, they were trying to be too cute, they weren't taking shots on power plays, those sorts of things. And lo and behold, you score 4 goals in a period and just completely demoralize them. I mean,
and a,
it was a close series, but this last game, if this had been if this had just been the clinching game and you didn't know the previous other outcomes, you would think that this was a landslide sweep.
yeah, but well, I mean, that second period, like if you saw just the third period, but if you saw the second period, you would think that maybe the series was tight because in that second period,
Oh
the
yeah.
Hawks had what like 5 penalties or something like that, and then
Oh,
even when
brutal.
even when it wasn't a Blues power play, it seemed like they still had the puck on the Hawks side. It was just an awful performance by the Hawks, and Crawford did everything. I mean, he made every save. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That first period, I would say a good 15 minutes of it was dominated by the Blackhawks. They can only muster one goal. The Blues controlled like the last 5 minutes, scored in that last 5 minutes, and you're like, the
Yeah, man.
Hawks should be up by like 2 goals, but it's only tied. That could be bad. And then that second period where it was like all Blues, you're like, okay, the Blues could be up by 6 goals and it's still tied. Like I didn't really know how to feel about it. Like if we're lucky that we're tied, like if eventually, like you said, the shoe's gonna fall off. But um, that third period, like the first goal almost seemed fluky. Like, okay, I'm
Whoa,
not
where
even
was
sure
this
it was
from?
a bad goal by your boy Miller. I have
My
to
boy.
give you a lot of credit because a lot of those goals, I mean, the Hawks dominated the third period regardless, but like a couple of those goals, uh, a good goalie is supposed to make those saves. And you said, I mean, before the playoffs, clearly before the playoffs, it was at the trade deadline when the Blues got him that you were not impressed with him. And lo and behold, he was pretty awful in that third period. So good job, Matt, for
Thank you.
calling that. And like you said, if you just watch that third period, you're like, wow, Blues made the playoffs because I mean, they look like they gave up. They really did.
Yeah,
Like they
they did.
stopped skating. And a lot of people after like the third goal were like on Twitter were saying, "Look out, the Blues are going to start headhunting." But instead, what happened was they just kind of gave. They weren't looking to hurt anyone. It was just like, let the clock tick down. Let's get out of here.
I'm
We'll shake
tired.
your hand. Good job. You guys got us.
Yeah, I was very happy about that. I was going back and forth with my cousin over the past, I don't know, several the last 3 games. I was really going back and forth with him about he's a better hockey fan than I am, or at least he's a seasoned
Thank you.
fan,
Thank you.
more seasoned,
Seasoned.
not better,
Yeah.
but a seasoned, yeah, a seasoned
Give yourself
fan
some
more so
credit.
than I am.
Yes.
And he said, oh, Ryan Miller, he was really scared about Ryan Miller and that he's a psychological goalie. And he said, oh, this could really be tough for him if they don't get anything really past him. I'm kind of like, when your player is when your highest cap hit or your biggest payroll hit is to your goalie, or that is who you build the team around, you're not going to win. That's not a team built for success.
Not in today's NHL, anyways.
Yes, I mean everyone is too good. Every goalie in the NHL is too good, with the exception of a few, specifically a lot of just second tier backups or third tier backups. The defense is better than it's ever been, and the offense is better than it's ever been. Coaching is better than it's ever been. The players are stronger, faster. Well, okay, I guess
Certain
coaching.
teams. Certain teams.
Okay, but in general, I think there's a better crop of coaches in today's NHL than at any time before, and everything is just better, and those things tend to equal out. They tend to neutralize each other. So what does it come down to? It comes down to the feet, however many feet it is between, between blue zone to blue zone, and that's it.
Zone, yeah.
Yeah, the between the crease, and that's it. Because the goalie does not defend the other 95, 100 feet, whatever it is, that's out there. The defense does. The offense does in taking the puck. The goalie can't score. Your goalie is only there to stop goals. And when you build your team around just that premise, okay, you're going to be so one-dimensional, it's not even funny. And you can look at the New York Rangers and what they've done. Henrik Lundqvist's career in the NHL is based off of, as far as I'm concerned, a farce. My cousin and everyone wants to say that he's the best goalie in the NHL. My cousins even will go so far as to say that if the Blackhawks had Lundqvist, they would never lose. Some hyperbole there, I know, but it doesn't make any sense when you have two other phases of the game. Well, I shouldn't say two. I guess two, between special teams, defense, and offense. Three other phases of the four to focus on, and that's where you should spend your payroll on, not just one point. So I told him, like, you know what? Right before the Blackhawks went on their scoring fiasco frenzy, I said, you know what? I will do a fantasy league with you, and I will spot you Henrik Lundqvist and Ryan Miller, and you can count all 0 championships that you'll win with that.
Flyers because are up 4-0 right now in the third.
Oh, FYI. Sweet. Yes. And that's going game 7. That's going to go to game 7. That's great.
Tie the series. Yeah, it'll be in game 7.
That's great. Oh, thank you for that update. But I mean, it's just not even funny. I mean, look at if the New York Rangers wanted to be good, or well, I can't really say that. Yeah, it's tougher to say with the Blues or like the Canucks, teams that were so balanced between offense, defense, penis people that go out and headhunt. And and goaltending. There was just one thing missing with a couple of those teams, with those two teams. And while they blew up Vancouver, literally and, and figuratively, the team and the city, but what's going on with the Blues? I mean, what more could you really ask for? Ryan Miller's an allegedly top flight goalie. Didn't really look like it to me. Let in a lot of soft goals. I saw a breakdown in some mechanics that I think better goalies would have, or would make saves on. Crawford certainly did. I mean, Crawford did not let up.
Crawford actually in the playoffs right now, second highest save percentage, right behind Tuukka Rask. So that's not bad. And the two goalies from last year's finals. So we very well could see the same thing if the Hawks keep going. They'll be facing obviously the winner of the Wild and Avalanche, who are going to a Game 7. Is that game tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so I'm, for one, rooting for the Wild. The way that
yes.
the Avalanche kind of owned the Hawks, and obviously the regular season, things are going to be different in the playoffs. But I still rather see the lower seed Wild, who still played the Hawks tough, but not quite the same as Colorado did. So.
Not a chance. I couldn't agree more. I think this is the best path to the Stanley Cup. And no, with San Jose collapsing against LA, I'm not really concerned out of anybody except the Ducks. I think the Ducks are probably the best team coming out of the Pacific, division. And now with it only being the Blackhawks and Wild, Blackhawks, Wild, and Avalanche, the team that scares me the most that I don't want to play are the Avalanche because, well, they're young, they got speed and energy, but they also got a goalie that's owned them this entire season.
And they play just as fast as the Hawks. They're just as fast as the Hawks. So, yeah, they can match their offense, which is, scary. Not too many teams do that. So
I'm very happy to have gotten this series out of the way, that we don't have to play that the Blackhawks don't have to play the Blues in the next round to get to the conference championship. So I'm very happy with the way the cards fell, and we'll see what happens. Something that really kind of almost bugged me and was about just how self-deprecating they were on, or I should say Corey Crawford was to the team. He was saying that he put the first two games and those losses on him. I'm kind of like, no, you played a very good team, and you went out, got a shutout, and never lost again. You did just fine. Tell your defense and some stupid players to stay out of the penalty box, and you'll be fine.
Game 2 is definitely on Seabrook. I know Crawford gave up a soft goal in that game, but I mean, for the most part, he was standing on his head. Game 1, he was probably his worst game overall, and he still played a good game. It's just, things happen.
Yeah, when you really want to look at it and see how genuinely close this entire series was, I don't think there was a goal differential through 5 games. If so, there was one goal in favor of one team over the other. So we're not talking blowouts like what we've seen with San Jose and LA.
Right.
So, I mean, this isn't like, oh, you know what, you got lit up for 5 goals and you had to get pulled. No, other teams have done their pulling. Like, Varlamov got pulled against the Wild. I mean, how many times could you believe that? Could you see that going into that series, that Varlamov wouldn't finish games?
No, but it seems like in the playoffs, their coaches are willing to pull goalies quickly. I know in San Jose, Niemi got pulled only after 3 goals. And it was like, wow, you're all okay. That was fast. So,
you're only pulling the goalie that has the Stanley Cup championship. Right. Okay.
And I still love Niemi. Like if there was like a goalie controversy between Niemi and Crawford, I might be on Niemi's side, and I'm a huge Crawford fan, but that's how much I think Niemi. I think that's how good he is. Now I know they've kind of lost control of that series, and they could have finished, I believe, in 5, and now it's going to go to a game 7.
Well, they could have finished in 4.
Right, they could have, but I didn't. I mean, before the series started, I didn't think that would be a sweep anyhow. So
No, I figured 6. I did not think this would go 7.
Right. Well, especially after, but I mean, I don't know with Kings goalie. Please help me out here with
Jonathan
Jonathan
Quick.
Quick. Wow,
Yeah.
he's got like the easiest name to remember. With Quick in goal, I mean, the Kings can go far just on that. So
Oh yeah, it brought him to the finals last year. Or the
2 years
conference
ago,
finals,
yeah.
excuse me.
Well, and 2 years ago, they won it as an 8 seed
Yeah.
because of him.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It would be tough because there's good little hashtag battles between, I'd say, Niemi says no and, well, one that I'm coining, Crawsome sauce. So
and I'm trying to get that out there for you because you see a lot of crowdgasms and
yeah.
um I tried to coin the it's crow bro, but that never went anywhere.
That's good. I think we can go with those. There's some good hashtags
So
that we can use. So look for us. You can follow the conversation when we live tweet Blackhawk games at Crawsome Sauce or Crowbro.
but
It's Crowbro.
you can usually only like tweet something once like every 24 hours or whatever. So I try to change them up. I throw in a
Yeah,
crossum sauce. I'll throw in a
yeah.
crowgasm. I'll throw in it's a crow bro. Crow says no.
Heck, you might just I might just we might just adapt that for all of our regular tweets. It might not even be Blackhawks related. So you can just follow you just follow the hashtag. It's Crowbro or Crawsome Sauce, and chances are you'll be finding us.
There you
So that's fine. Let's see. Anything else against about Blackhawks and Blues?
go. Well, maybe not that series, but just going forward, I
Yeah.
do believe that the Blackhawks will have their home building all to themselves because, segue, the Bulls.
There you go. Yeah. The Bulls. This is a team that squandered home court advantage early and often, and what are we? They're down 3-1 in the series against the oh gosh, the fifth seed Wizard, the team that was allegedly the better matchup, allegedly, and well, let's see, scores should be coming up here shortly, but there it was tied last I
I don't
checked.
know how updated this is, but I've got it. Wizards with an 8 point lead in the third quarter. So
As soon as they get back from the TV timeout, we should be finding out. I should be finding
and
out.
Nene has 18 points. The guy who's guarding him is your NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
Joachim Noah.
Twitter updates. David Haw just replied to me. Woohoo!
Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah, not really.
You can hear him every day from, I believe it is 9 to noon.
If you get the station, yeah.
If you get the station on 87.7, The Game, Chicago's new FM sports talk. They got some good stuff, some good programming. Afternoons, late afternoon, I should say, is a little rougher.
Yeah,
but...
you know what? It was good, and then they brought on, I'm just going to be blunt with it. It was good. And then they brought on Jared Payton, and now it's unlistenable. I'm sorry. He's a great guy. I follow him on Twitter. He's good on Twitter. He is awful on the radio. Awful.
Yeah.
And I think maybe also because it's a 3-man show now, there's no room for him. And it's...
I thought it was always 3-man.
No, it was just the two of them, and then they brought on Jared Payton like a month in after they launched.
I didn't even think they needed him.
And no, they didn't. Really didn't. And I don't know if he's actually bad or if it's just crowded now, but I can't listen anymore. And so by the time I get home, the latest show,
your ears are bleeding.
The latest show, which has Connor McKnight on, which is I like him. Yes. I'm already home, so I don't get to listen to that. So I really haven't listened much to the station since Jared Payton joined.
Yeah, and I was listening. I'm trying to think. I had a oh gosh, when was it? I think it was last week. I had a couple long commutes home, and it wasn't bad. It was just flat. It was boring, and it just seems so. Hey, it almost feels like it turns into the Jared Payton like wax fest, and we're going to talk about Jared Payton's father. Walter Payton, and we're gonna, remember those things. Oh, it was the Wrigley 100th anniversary.
Oh,
That's what day.
well, I mean, that's a little different, I guess, but
And yeah, he shared some stories about when his dad threw out a ceremonial first pitch, and he brought Jared along, and the experience that was. But it almost seems like he's a celebrity guest that calls in and doesn't want to leave.
well, and he doesn't. The reason why you're absolutely right is because he's very unhistorical. Like he doesn't have a lot of knowledge on anything they'll be talking about it, and he's like asking questions like, "What is that? What do you mean?" And these are things that I know. So I'm like, I'm like, okay, you got on the show because you're Walter's son, but like be
Yeah,
a one a guest once a week or something. I don't think he should be on the show. Look, this is how bad the Bulls are. We started talking about the Bulls, and now we're talking about Jared Payton being on a local radio show.
I think I got him at 60-52, Wizards lead.
Okay,
I think that's what it says. It's a
so
little far.
eight,
It's on the other
yeah,
side, still an
8 point
eight-point
lead.
lead. And the Bulls, they can't make a jumper, they can't make a layup. This
They
is
can't make
kind
a
of what
stop.
that too. This is the team that should have showed up as soon as Luol Deng was traded, but didn't. So learn that, everybody. And I heard, who was it? Somebody was posing the question. I think it was it was the game. It was this afternoon. They said, if the Bulls lose to the Wizards, do you consider this season a success? I want to be like, no, you don't understand what the whole point was to begin with.
How can you
The season is a failure. It's a galactic failure because they were
on
supposed to lose
every
after Derrick Rose went down.
level? Like, okay, if you're in the boat where you just want them to tank, obviously
Which we were.
obviously it's not a success because you made the playoffs. If you're in the boat where like, no, you need to win every game possible and make it as far into the playoffs. Anything I'll say for this team, anything less than the Eastern Conference Finals is is not successful. Now, like there's certain years and certain teams where you say only a championship is, a success. I guess with this Bulls team, if you made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and you were in the boat of like, yeah, you try to go as far as you can, maybe you could have said it was a success with this team. Losing the first round to the Wizards? How can you even ask that question?
Yeah, it was preposterous. And while I believe a lot of their sports questioning on the game comes, especially in the late afternoon, comes for me into question. But it, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know if they're just trying
Who
to
comes up with
build
those
and go to
questions?
the
Ron
list.
Coomer?
I well, he allegedly once fell out of a cart at a horse track. So that's the individual. Frequent listeners to 670 The Score will know who I'm talking about. Uh, but okay, allegedly, I'm going to say that allegedly. So, but it was frustrating. I almost called in because they had asked a question. What was the most? I don't want to say easy play, but the most routine play that you've ever seen botched and cost their team the most. There's one, and I listened for about 10 minutes to hear the callers' answers. Not one mentioned Billy Buckner. Not one. And I don't know if it was exclusive to Chicago teams. If it was, let's make an exception because that was
Right.
so galactically routine. That was kind of getting frustrating, but yeah,
Was there
wow.
a Leon Durham play mentioned?
I think so. I didn't hear Alex Gonzalez, but I was a little shocked at the lack of sports knowledge that was being garnered from the entire experience. But that being said, I, I don't know what it is. This Bulls team is like the donkey that Tom Thibodeau beat senseless and out of spite won games, and then it just got whipped one too many times and died. And people are wanting to say, is this loss on Thibs? Is this series on Thibs? I'm going to be like, is it a referendum on him and his coaching? No, geniuses. The Bulls do not have any scoring options. Legitimate scoring options is what it comes down to.
I don't know. You still got Jimmer on the bench.
Uh, okay, let's
Okay,
say.
I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. I understand that Carlos Boozer is a detriment on the defensive side of the ball,
I would
but
I would have been playing. Yeah, but you know what? In the
I
fourth,
would have rode him 48 minutes the entire time.
he's the only guy that can consistently score. And for as much as I've badmouthed him, like even when he's scoring, he's fading away when he doesn't have to. He still can score, and he's healthy. And I was watching the Bulls game earlier, and it was early in the game. They're down by like 16, and they needed scoring, so they brought in Augustine. I'm like, real? That's what? Like, no. Like, just feed Boozer and have him go to work. And then, especially since you're not going to play him in the fourth quarter, give him as many touches in the first three quarters that you can.
He should not get a break. Just 36 straight minutes. Then when the fourth quarter hits, okay, you can ride the bench, and we'll see. We'll take it from there. I don't know.
Ride
It's
him
just
until
so.
he grabs a rebound, and then instead of yelling, give me that, yells,
I'm tired.
yeah, like, give me out.
I'm tired. I mean,
Grabs the board, give me out.
honestly, and when you say that, yeah, he fades away when he doesn't need to, they the the defense could be on the other side of the court. He will take a mid-range fadeaway jumper.
When that happens to me on NBA 2K, I get upset. Like, why is the guy fading? I didn't try to fade. And then
That's his.
he naturally does it.
It's his only scoring animation. He doesn't do anything else. Oh man! So the Bulls are on the precipice of losing, and just call it what it is. This team was a dumpster fire. It was a dumpster fire for not losing when they were supposed to, and when they get to the playoffs, and everything kind of reverses roles because, well, when you're in the playoffs, you're out of the top picks of the draft. You are in basketball hell. You might as well make a run at it, and that's when they decide to lose.
Yeah, how convenient. And this is
It's
why,
just
like, a lot of my friends and probably some of our listeners uh, weren't understanding when I was saying, this is all good and well, but once you get to playoffs, teams with talent will now try just as hard as you. And that's what happened. In the regular season, the Bulls outtry other teams. And other teams just go, we're not trying that hard. We don't have to because we're still going to make the playoffs, whatever. This is a bunch of crap. Here, take the victory. In the playoffs, teams aren't going to be like, okay, you're out trying us tonight. No, they're going to try just as hard as you. So now it comes
yeah.
down to who has more talent. And guess what? Wizards, a lot of scoring talent. Nene, uh, Booker, the whole Trevor Ariza, the whole.
The whole
I
Wizards
mean, I haven't
experience.
even named their two best players, and those three guys are better than anyone on the Bulls starting five. And I haven't even named John Wall or Beal. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it's not even fair for the Bulls to be honest. Like there's
It's really
such a
not.
huge talent gap.
It's so deceptive. This is like this Bulls team is the equivalent to the 2013 Cleveland Indians, where they got or the 2013 uh, Indians had what I think a 30 game pad, 40 game pad of White Sox and Twins wins, where sure they beat up on the teams they're supposed to beat up that year, but it accounted for an inappropriate amount of wins that disguised them for a team that had some huge holes. And well, lo and behold, they get bounced. I believe it was the first playoff game or the wild card game.
The weird game, yeah, the weird
Yeah,
one game
yeah. The Rays just
artificial,
clowned them.
yeah, the artificial. It's like an artificial playoff game. Yeah,
Yeah, the exhibition playoff game, the play-in game is what it really is. So,
stupid.
oh, so stupid. Anyway,
Sorry.
well, that wraps up Bulls. But sticking with the NBA, major announcement for major news, historic news, I guess is the best way to really put it, being levied by NBA, I guess, well, the head NBA man, Adam Silver.
Yes. We'll go with
And
that.
yeah, we'll go with Adam Silver.
I I don't care enough to look it up. No, it's actually right.
Commissioner
It's
Silver.
actually right in front of me. It is Adam Silver.
Okay. He ends up levying a lifetime ban against Donald Sterling. It's funny, Sterling and Silver being in the same story and not related, but or excuse me, not in the same name, but levying a lifetime ban against LA Clippers owner Donald Sterling for racist remarks that were recorded and released to the public uh, against African Americans and his personal views on such individuals. It wasn't clean. It wasn't pretty. It's a dirty, dirty mess. Is basically the best way you can really call it. And the NBA took a stance against a problem that they hadn't wanted to admit to for the first time in I guess an entire commissioner's era.
Yeah, well, like I guess there's so many layers to this though that a lot of people don't know about that I don't really even know like all the layers, but I guess this should have happened quite a long time ago. Uh, Jason Goff from the game in Atlanta actually called.
Now Sirius XM
I thought he
NBA.
was doing both. Is he only with Sirius now?
I believe he is.
Okay. Um, so sorry for that mistake. He called in to 670 The Score on the Hannah Manas show.
Very nice.
And he was talking about that there were a lot of different racist, I guess, kind of news stories about Donald Sterling uh, as far back as 6 years ago. And the NBA owners, the commissioner, they all kind of just swept it under the rug and kind of helped him out. And then, like Jason Goff said, it was very convenient now to be, quote, upset, at the situation because it was more public now and there was no hiding it. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't sweep this under the rug. It's out there, so now we're upset by it. Now we can't believe it, even though it had been going on. Things like this have been going on for quite some time. So, um, those stories probably won't be put out there mainstream. But uh, if you follow those like little leads, probably a bigger black eye for the entire NBA than we ever realized. I'm pretty happy about the job that Adam Silver did, though. Uh, this is the first time he's been approached with this problem, and he struck quickly. Good for him. Good for the NBA. Seems like maybe already he could be the best commissioner out of the four major sports. Not that that's a hard task, but
Yeah.
yeah, Donald Sterling just said some really horrific things about pretty much every race but his own, and
Yeah.
uh, things about Magic Johnson, and I think that too is like, that's almost like the untouchable. You can't really say anything bad about Magic Johnson. The NBA is not going to allow that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's banned for. He can still own the team, but he can't have anything to do with the team. So, I mean, he can't have any operations with the team whatsoever. So, what is owning going to do for him? Well, he could still collect profits from it, but that's about it. So,
Yeah, it's pretty empty money. It's then just an investment that would be no more than a mutual fund or 401k for for anyone out there to put into that kind of relationship. But I I guess you're right. I believe it is a very low bar that is set across all four major commissioners that are currently out there to step up and do the right thing or set an appropriate standard for behavior or I don't know, conduct, I guess is the best way to put it, putting it in professional terms as such. And very decisive, swift, and it's you're not messing around. You're setting a standard and a precedent that is going to be very difficult to deviate from. And I'm not saying that every NBA owner is or thinks this way. You've seen a lot of support come out in the past. I'd say since the announcement came out, I think within I'd say half hour, 45 minutes, everyone let Adam Silver, have his news cycle and his moment. But then NBA owners came out rank and file stating, we agree with this, we support with this, we are looking to advance the process of stripping Donald Sterling for ownership and removing him via the Board of Governors, and basically ousting him as an owner and forcing a sale of the team. I like that. I think that's a very good and aggressive stance to take for the NBA and their owners to clean up their game and just, I guess, clean up the NBA ownership as it is. But what if there's anybody that really, I think, puts the spotlight on, it's on the big game right now, and that's the NFL. You have a team that exists as a racial epithet against Native Americans, and you have an owner who is dug his heels in, stating that he's not going to change it as long as he owns the team. Well, what can the allegedly most powerful man in sports, in professional sports, do about it? Apparently nothing. And I think you're now on call, Roger Goodell, to do something about it, because we're going to hear it every season until it's changed. We heard it We heard it at the start of last season and throughout the season. Are the Redskins going to change their name? Is Washington D.C. going to get a new team name? Well, I think the clock is ticking, and I think about in the metaphorical time bomb situation, you're now down to seconds. You're not dealing with hours or minutes anymore, especially with someone stating, you know what, you're banned for life. We're going to take away your team because it's our club, and we care who we want in. So,
unfortunately, I don't see there being any change. I don't think this is gonna cause Goodell to really do anything. It's kind of a separate topic, I guess. It's still, I mean, it's by far Washington has the most racist sports name in all of professional sports, and I mean, I can't think of all the Division One college team names off the top of my head, but probably more racist than any of those as well. Any college teams that were even close to being racist, most of those got changed. So it's a very unfortunate name for a sports team, and unfortunately, I don't see that changing anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I don't see it changing either. Let's see. I guess I could say this, but a source from within 670 The Score, AM, let me know that he believes that it's not going to affect anything, though it probably should. And well, I guess the ball's in your court, Mr. Goodell. That's where it's really kind of been. He can take it at any point in time if he wants to. I guess. Well, NFL owners are content with what they're doing, and with the it's almost like the money is bigger than God. This is almost the best way to really kind of look at it. And with the money that the NFL makes, who cares? And you know what? You're still going to see jersey sales. You're still going to see T-shirt sales. You're going to see, merchandise. You're going to see swag, product moved. It's going to move off shelves, hats, all those sorts of things. You're still going to tune in to those rivalry games of the Cowboys and Washington, but and it's just like those games that really matters anymore. I think just because both teams I don't think they're not very good, but follow the money, as columnist Steve Rosenblum likes to say, but. That's really all where you can leave it. It's just follow the money, and it stinks for those that it affects. And Taj Gibson just went down with a leg injury, so Congratulations, Bulls
Who
fans.
will be back sooner, Taj or Derrick Rose?
Taj,
I
he will.
actually
And then,
saw a one of those pictures with like caption or whatever, and it said
yeah.
down Sterling lifetime ban from the NBA. He'll still be back sooner than Derrick Rose. It kind of feels that way.
Yeah, it really does. And well, Derrick Rose is Derrick Rose, and we'll see how that shapes out this off season and all those sorts of fun things. But I don't know, it's peculiar. It's really peculiar. I'm sure the NBA didn't want to do this. They didn't want to have to confront this. I figured the best way that they had thought that they were going to get rid of Donald Sterling was just through a casket. And but that's just not the case. They found an opportunity, and well, they made the most of it, seemingly. So good for the NBA, like you said.
Absolutely.
Good PR. I guess that's what I'm most impressed with the just the willingness to to win a PR battle like that.
Well, willingness to do the right thing. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The death penalty. They got it. They did it.
and
Boom.
and for any of those who want to bring up freedom of speech only works in legal situations. Donald Sterling cannot get arrested for the things he said, which is, you know, that's what the amendment is for. Uh, and the
Yeah,
organization can choose to follow suit on something like this. So, yeah, the NBA has the right to.
yeah, whatever you do say in public, well, you have to pay the consequences
Right.
for it. It's not necessarily the government won't bring you to prosecution, but the court of public opinion certainly will. I really fail to understand why that's so hard to understand, and for people to say that he was being illegally recorded, well, the best he can hope for is a civil
Did
case
you
against his girlfriend, and because the government was not wiretapping him.
did you hear the did you hear the tape?
I heard bits and pieces of it. I really just kind of shrugged it off because I was more interested in the result and the conclusion as opposed to the build up in the story.
Well, I mean, okay, not only is he a racist, but he's really stupid. How he didn't know that he was being recorded? I mean, it was so blatant obvious that his girlfriend was trying to get him in trouble. I mean, it
Well,
it was like, yeah, she just kept
yeah,
egging him on, and he didn't catch on at all. So,
it. What
good
can
for
you?
him.
I don't know.
Good for him.
I, I mean, he still has his opinion. No one's changing that, but well, they're certainly changing his lifestyle. We can say that much, or his position and visibility in the NBA, and well, I guess all public for that matter. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're giving him the Paula Dean treatment, but they're they're locking down their product. They're doing what's best for business.
Yeah, I I'm curious on what his move is if he tries to save any face. Will we see him on a special Oprah show? Will we see him plead his case on 60 Minutes or something? Uh, that's because we haven't really heard from him much. Which I mean, I don't care to, but I would think that he would try to save face and uh, backtrack and whatever he has to do. But uh,
The cat's out of the bag. I don't think backtracking is going to be in the cards for him, and
well, even
I
I mean,
almost feel
I don't
like,
know if it would work, but I mean, A-Rod tried, right? I mean,
yeah, I think the biggest thing that I don't think he'll do anything. I think he'll go the way of Rocky Wirtz and well, the not Rocky Wirtz, excuse me, Old Man Wirtz, Bill
and
Wirtz,
just go and die.
uh, and yeah, and just kind of fade into oblivion. Let the team mire in mediocrity and have this shadow and this haze over them for the rest of his natural life, and or choosing to have the rest of his ownership, if that's the case. And we'll see what happens. But I don't expect him to be aggressive. And heck, if he wants to sell the team, Okay, fine. He's going to go make nearly $1 billion. Like he's going to care about that. He's walking away with a nice payday away from away from that sale. So yeah, it's not like he's going to be hurting financially. It's just okay, and he's too old to care. I think he's just too old to care
Yeah,
what people think
he's like,
about him.
was he like 82 or something like that? So he probably doesn't have very long to go,
Yeah,
anyways. So
yeah. So well, as I mentioned before, with the NBA doing what's best for business, we can tune in to the other business that the best entertainment sports business, and that being the WWE. Did you happen to catch most some or any of the highlights of Raw?
all of it except for some things I fast forward, but
I don't blame you.
unfortunately, I caught up too fast and saw some things I didn't want to see. But
Oh, what specifically?
no, I don't know. Like, well, 3MB. Well, actually, we should celebrate the fact that 3MB won the match. I think that's the real news. Uh, Actually, to basically start off Raw, uh, they started with the cage already down over the ring, and John Cena comes out for uh, in-ring promo, and I thought everything that Cena said was pretty awesome. I thought it was a really good promo cut by Cena. And then the lights go out, and they start a little bit of the music from the Wyatts, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Business is about to pick up, as Jim Ross would say. And it ends up being, to start off, a chorus of children, and they're singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands." Not only, I mean, it was kind of creepy, but I mean, Bray Wyatt is supposed to be the heel here, and he's got kids kind of on his side. Then the Wyatts come out, all the kids surround the ring. Then they put on the goat mask. It just kept getting better and better. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it just kept getting better and better. The longer it went on, that first segment of the show, the longer it went on, the better it got. Um, because that was so good, I thought the rest of the Raw was like it took a step
It was
back because it was
yeah.
like, how you gonna do better than that? That was, to me, was awesome. So there was other good things on Raw. The championship match of the IC number one contender tournament. So that was
Oh, what a shocker.
you.
I think we called that one.
Yeah, well, you had to have Barrett win it. It was a good match too, and there were a couple of times where I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna have RVD win, especially when they had
Oh, the
Cesaro.
last 2 minutes of the
Yeah,
match of that
Cesaro
match.
comes out and starts interfering, and I'm like, oh, something's gonna happen here, and RVD's gonna win. And I think what they did was they set up what I believe will probably be a triple threat match at Extreme Rules, where it's going to be Jack Swagger, who has now lost twice in less than a week, less than 5 days. Well, technically a week, but TV
Yeah.
time 5 days
Fine.
uh, against Cesaro, and then RVD. That match won't excite me because Swagger's already lost twice to him. So adding RVD to the mix isn't going to make it much more exciting. But I feel like that's where they're going to go with it. I think that's why they did it. It's not like they're doing anything else with Cesaro. But
Yeah, I don't. Why did Paul Heyman pick him up?
well,
I mean,
it's
that's got to be a bigger storyline. That's got to be a longer
I
storyline.
don't know. Like, to me, I understood completely why they went with him aligning with Cesaro aligning with Paul Heyman, but then kind of putting him in this feud with Swagger where he's beaten him twice, and then adding RVD to the mix. Like, I don't. I feel like he's already taken a step back. Like, I felt like teaming him up, or aligning him, I should say, with Paul Heyman was like, okay, they're really about to do something special with Cesaro. And then what they've done the last couple of weeks, I feel like they've taken a step back with him. So I don't really see what they're doing. I think they kind of botched it. But in the meantime, they're kind of pushing Barrett, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been the Intercontinental champion 3 times, but and no one really knows that because it's kind of like with the U.S. title with what's his name
Spider Monkey.
from the Shield.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now.
Oh
Too many names in
gosh.
my head.
I know. Yeah.
I can't think of it. But anyways, it's like yeah, he has the title, but he hasn't defended it, so it's not really worth nothing. That's kind of how like his 3 titles were. I feel like they're going to make the IC title more important once again. I mean, even even the champion right now, Big E Langston, uh, they kind of made sure that he was having a lot of matches and reminding you all the time that he's got the title, he's the champ. This is a big thing. This title means something, and he's not the greatest wrestler, and he doesn't have the most charisma. So, like, it's time for him to be kind of pushed to the side, give the title to someone with charisma who's got some in-ring talent, and still continue to make sure that you're showing that IC title is worth something. So I think they're doing a good job there.
Yeah, I think they are too. Let's see. I'm with you. I thought they were gonna. I thought Cesaro was going to be the number one contender for the IC belt. Not necessarily the case. Now he's kind of in limbo, as you mentioned before. I, we came in to when Hugh Jackman was doing some promo work.
So you didn't even see the whole beginning with.
I saw the recap,
Okay,
and that was creepy enough. I was like, "Whoa, dang, we missed something."
you
And I
know,
was kind of hoping
if you because you can go back and watch it on the network, right?
the network. Yeah,
Go
I can. So
go
I can
back and
go back
watch
and see
it. Go, just do it. It's so awesome. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
That's okay. A promo for the WWE Network now available on Xbox One, so it's now available on all major platforms and mobile devices and those sorts of fun things. So you can get it. Also, I think as of last night, it was not going to be Extreme Rules was not going to be carried on Dish or DirecTV. So if you're a major satellite cable consumer, you may be out of luck.
Can I get it on my 2600?
I think so. Yes. I think you'll get everything will be 8-bit, but yes. So you'll except John Cena's, his arms will still have green. They'll just have 2 green blocks where his hands should be.
There you go.
So anyway, let's see. We came into where Hugh Jackman was cutting up, just doing some promo work with Ziggler, and I was like, wow, okay, this is so cartoonish and just so it was so for the kids. And wow, they have really turned Sandow into the clown.
And that's terrible. And I think I put it on Twitter because Sandow hasn't won a match in who knows how
This
long.
year? I don't even think this year.
And either has Dolph Ziggler. So how is the WWE going to job both of these guys? How are they both going to lose when they're actually wrestling each other? That's what I want to know. Because obviously that basically
they can't
basically they set up
Big Show.
a rival. There's has to be a match between Sandow versus Ziggler. How are they both going to lose? Like, who's going to run
Big
in and
Show
just
in.
and knocks them both out, right? Has to.
Exactly, because we haven't seen. Did Big Show make an appearance yesterday? I don't think he did.
I don't believe so.
Let's see. The other things that were going on in a recap from they were pushing a lot of the stuff. SmackDown had a good fight last week, main event, I should say, from last week, and that was an 11-on-3. I guess special rules handicap match. The Shield versus 11 WWE alleged superstars, folks. And when I say alleged superstars, I mean like Damien Sandow, a couple of the second tier guys that are out there, sure, but still had to do some work to get there, and just really ran roughshod over the corporate superstars that are there right now, and that was kind of fun to see. Evolution versus Shield happened. There was a disqualification that was in the main event, which was Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. So It was a good match. You saw some, I thought, some good talent out there. We've said it before. You've said it before that Roman Reigns is one of the better showmen and better athletes and better, guys that does the wrestling. I don't want to say bit, but the athleticism that it
Right.
takes and sort of showmanship.
Just the in
That
ring, yeah.
it's the in-ring talent that he is, as opposed to just a face or baby face or just a talker. Some of the other ones that are out there. But the Nature Boy made an appearance.
That was so weird. What
I
was
felt
that?
I told Megan, I'm like, are they bringing in the old guys to kill them off because Ultimate Warrior died? Now they want to get rid of somebody else.
And someone
I
actually tweeted me that, like, is Flair gonna
no
die
good.
in 2 days? One of my buddies tweeted me that, and I'm like, okay. But
But I mean, it was so. You're right. It was weird because he was just. It honestly sounded like it was jibber jabber for the most part of it
well,
because he's talking to Evolution and then he's like, "But your time's done, and it's the Shield that has the power."
and then just walks
And
away, like shakes one hand, walks away. I'm like, wait, I don't think he was supposed to be finished there. I think he was supposed to keep going. It was, it felt like he cut himself off, like short, like, like he was like he forgot, like, wait, what am I? I
he
forgot
just
why I'm
exited the
here.
ring
He just
going,
left.
"Woo, woo," and that was it. I mean, the crowd was really good. There were some good cheers that were going on through the entire banter. I did like that. But it just seems so awkward. A nice surprise for those in St. Louis yesterday. But
Well, it was actually, I don't know. It was all over Twitter all week. I knew he was going to be there.
oh, okay, I didn't know, so it was a nice little surprise for me. So
And then even Jerry Lawler when he was like, "What?" when the music plays, I kind of laughed. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you had no idea, even though it was all over Twitter. So, because I believe Triple H actually tweeted and confirmed that Flair was going to be there on Raw. So, uh,
uh,
I think that's where I saw it. So it was like, okay.
yeah. So there should be some good matches. This will be the second pay per view event that the WWE Network will be have been around for. Um, I'm I know they're really trying to siphon people into that, and I don't blame them for it. It's their product. It's a good product. They even had, I think, a full 60-minute or 90-second or 60-minute, 1 minute or 90-second promo or advertisement during the show yesterday. I don't know who was pimping it, but I didn't really catch him because he was in a suit. So
Love your suit. I
yes,
don't think I caught that. I think I probably fast forwarded it.
I don't blame you.
Part of it is okay because Raw starts at 7. I
Yes.
don't get home from work, as you know, until like 7:15, 7:30. So I'm always playing catch up the first hour or so, anyhow. So
That's fine.
I caught up pretty quickly, and then my buddy texts me. He's like, "It's a shame." He texted me earlier. He goes, "It's a shame that." He said Lumbus, meaning Columbus. It's a shame Lumbus is gonna be eliminated tonight. I'm like, oh, they're losing now. He's like, yeah. And then like an hour later, he's like, man, they're back in this game. He's like, too bad there's not gonna be enough time. It's 4-2, but there's only 5 minutes left. Like as soon as he texted me that, like he texted me again. He's like, oh my god, it's 4-3. You got to turn the game on. So, so then like I hit pause, and like I was caught up by that time on Raw. So then I hit pause, went to the other TV because we were recording two things, so I couldn't
Right.
change. So I went to the other TV, watched the last 5 minutes. Apparently it was me because Columbus stopped scoring then. Uh,
It's your
it
fault.
was pretty disappointing. But then went
Yeah.
back and fast forward some more things. So there was certain things I missed. The Divas match that I actually didn't miss because it involved Daniel Bryan, kind of, where it was
Yes.
his
That was
wife.
interesting.
Yeah, his wife. Is it Brie? I believe Brie is his
Yes.
wife. Yeah, Brie Bella. She gets a title shot, and then uh, you know that match was coming up after the commercial, and then they show the glass case where Kane keeps his mask, and it was empty, so you knew like, okay, it's a setup. and he comes down from underneath the ring to try to grab Bree, which Kane has done in the past. So is the Undertaker, but it hasn't happened in quite a while. So it was kind of cool to see something kind of old school. Uh,
Yeah.
but like there were certain, even that was kind of weird. Like why did Bree hop back into the ring? Like did you notice that? Like she hops back into the ring. You're like, what is she doing? Like I saw someone on Twitter say they're really playing it out like a horror movie where the stupid girl doesn't know which way to run. Like
Yeah, they kind of did. I didn't see it live. I saw the recap of it, but I was like, you got out of the ring only to go back into the ring, okay? And then keep in mind, Kane
and then
is
still gets away. So Daniel Bryan
yeah.
can't get away from Kane, but Bree can.
Daniel Bryan can't get away from Bree and gets beat up by Kane, even though I don't even think I think just his shoulders and arms were out from under the ring.
At first, yeah. Well, and then he
I
like, climbed all the way out, but yeah,
okay.
at first it was like just like just
Yeah,
his arms and almost
it
he
was
almost looked like Jim Carrey in When Nature Calls, where he's coming out of the
yeah.
rhino and like his arms are flailing, kind of like that.
Yeah, it was just odd, and I was like, okay, cool. You know what? They did, they're hyping up, the one of the big matches for Extreme Rules with Daniel Bryan versus Kane, or is that on SmackDown?
No, that's gonna be at Extreme Rules,
Okay,
which
so yeah, that'll be fun.
isn't the greatest title match, but whatever.
No, and I don't think it's going to be much of a. I think it's a safe bet that we can all figure out who will end up walking away with that title. But it's fun. I'm glad that yeah, that they're not making pay per view that they're not going to let pay per views lapse and you know make them once every 6 months so that you do have to re up for the network every time. I think this will get us through SummerSlam. So we'll see the two of the bigger matches, I guess, for pay per view events.
Well, I believe there probably should be another pay per view before SummerSlam.
Oh, I would hope so.
Because SummerSlam is usually August, and I'm pretty sure they should have something in July, but
June or July if it's every 2 months.
right.
So
Well, I mean, they were doing it every month. I don't know if they're gonna.
yeah, I wonder if they're going to go every other month. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but then again, that's okay. So, all right, you got anything else?
Did you want to mention your surprisingly uh, average White Sox? Average is good at the moment, as they're only a game back.
Yeah, they're only a game back, taking on
Of course,
I
so
think
are
the
the
division.
Twins. So what does that really mean, huh?
Yeah, not really all that much, but the White Sox come off of this is I'm going to say a 3-4 road trip that was surprising because it was against the Rangers and the Tigers, and they escaped with 3 wins between the two of them. I was pretty happy with that, and they come home and go to work on the Rays. So hey, guess what? The Rays aren't the only ones with kids that can play at times. So I was happy with that. I unfortunately I was at the only game they lost during that series. So, well, it happens. It's okay. You can't win them all, but it's been surprising to see, and especially what they're doing with the injuries, with all the injuries that they've incurred over that time span.
By the way,
So
it's official.
Bulls lost.
Bulls lost.
Excellent. Good night, Bull. Good night,
They
Chicago.
scored 69 points in the
Yep, that's not NBA
entire
level.
game. Not a half, not three quarters, the entire game.
That's college level. That's seriously college level. That's D League stuff we're talking.
That's does the
That
does the
is
WNBA have a D League? I think that's what that
ooh,
might be.
yeah, I think it could. Except, and then those are all those games that are what 69-10. I think that's how those games go.
All the
Uh,
talents on one side.
exactly. Every game, that's the final score to every WNBA D League game, 69-10, because at any point, well, one side of the field has all the talent, the other side, well, just doesn't. So, and keep in mind those are all free throws. Those 10 points are from free throws. So I'm kidding. Women's sports is nice. It's nice that you can have that, but it just doesn't bring the viewers. So that's why we joke on that. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with what they're doing. 500 is kind of where I would like them to be. If they end up making a run at the Tigers, who decided to just, I don't know, maim themselves, cut off their legs and their power, okay, that's fine. I'll take it. And if it gets us a division, that's great. But this is not, by no means is this a World Series caliber team. It's a fun team to watch, but certainly with a lot of bullpen issues that they, well, seemingly have stopped recently. The past, I think, 7 to 10 games has been much improved as opposed to what they were before. I shouldn't say past 7 to 10 games. I think the past 6 games have been much improved as opposed to the blow-ups that they've had. So,
what about Abreu?
wow.
Kid's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I shocked and I feel very grateful that they have that sort of talent on the rise. I just don't want him to get injured. I don't want him to get hurt. I should say injured. I guess injured from the field, from something that could go wrong there. Hurt by his own accident, like swinging or getting hit by a pitch or something like that.
Like he hits the ball so hard it goes around the world and hits him in the back of the head.
Yeah, a lot of those home runs, I think they're still running. I don't think they're quite to the level of Albert Pujols' level of like the one that's
The
still
one that's
I
still
think,
in orbit, yeah.
Yeah, it's still in orbit from Brad Lidge. But that home run will live forever. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's very exciting to watch. And I was getting my hair cut this weekend, and the place had ESPN on, and I never watch ESPN. And I think they had a Sports Center on in the morning, and they were talking Jose Abreu and White Sox. I'm like, oh my God, the White Sox are on ESPN. Oh my God, the White Sox are on Sports Center. That never happens. So
Welcome back
I
to
was
Sports
shocked.
Center. We're in our 9th hour, and we have yet to repeat one story. We now talk about Jose Abreu.
Yeah. Oh man, but more Tiger Woods news. More Tiger Woods news on the way. So. Yeah, no, it's been fun to watch. They're certainly dynamic. I guess the biggest drawback right now is oh gosh, I'd say the the broadcast booths. Oh gosh, it's
fun.
tough.
It's fun.
I think it's almost
fun
like
for me
Bad.
since I'm not a Sox fan.
It can be a little brutal sometimes. Hawk is now devolved into a cartoon. The radio side is just horrible and offends all sensibility that I have as
I like
as an amateur.
that fun was good. If you listen to the radio broadcasts in the North Side, I mean that's brutal.
I think they're both bad, but it offends my sensibilities as a broadcaster and baseball fan, amateur broadcaster at that. But still, wow, oof,
Understandable.
painful. So, you got anything else?
Just before when we were talking about the pay-per-views, there's actually 3 pay-per-views before SummerSlam after Extreme Rules. So, I mean, we've got 4 more before SummerSlam. I should have remembered this. June 1st, they're actually in Chicago. Rosemont, if you want to be exact. Payback. Then June 29th, so June gets 2 pay-per-views, Money in the Bank. Then July has July 20th is Battleground. I've never even heard of that pay-per-view. It's probably something that was renamed. And then SummerSlam is August 17th. So lots of good things to watch live if you go and get that network.
Very cool. Yes, you will get the full bevy of pay-per-views coming up in that 6-month window. So go out there and get it. It's nice. It's good. It's definitely worth it. You get all. It's definitely your money's worth. I know. I think we're just as big as promoters of it as WWE. So.
And I'd rather talk about that than Cubs baseball. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's a hard road to plow. So. Yeah.
It could be. They have the same amount of wins as the Diamondbacks, but both teams have 8 wins, which is tied for the worst. Because of rainouts, Cubs have actually have 5 less losses than Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks aren't that bad on the road. They're 6-7. They are 2-14 at home. How are you 2-14 at home?
That's bad.
That's not good.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's brutal. Wow.
Anyway.
Well, there's always a future. So.
That's what happens when you have a team full of former White Sox players who typically played bad on the West Coast, and now they play there every day.
Yep. Enjoy that. Enjoy that, folks. Enjoy that, Arizona. Yes. Oh man. All right. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. And well, we will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to Chicago Sports Update here on Intrepid Audio Productions. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching IAP Podcasts, all one word. We make it easy to listen to us at home or on the go because you can subscribe to us via iTunes or on your browser at Spreaker.com. Listen to us on the go with the Stitcher Radio app, available for all smartphones. Want to interact with the team directly? Leave any questions, comments, or feedback you may have at our Facebook page. You can also like our page to know about special events, shows topics, and listen directly on our page to new and past episodes. Feel free to email us anytime at iappodcast@gmail.com. IAP Podcasts, pioneering the best in independent podcasting.